got this set I bought from TJ Maxx a while ago, not a couple weeks ago, and I thought it medium. I don't know why I don't know medium. I'm like, I thought it doesn't fit, did not fit, look ugly, like no. So my plan is to turn it into basically what it is now, but in a way that fits me just like a year. So I plan just to take it in, make it cute, make it snatched, right? I'm probably make it backwards because I saw this in a carpenter outfit on like Instagram, so that's so cute.
Now I definitely could have returned this set and got a different size, but you know how TJ Maxx is, like they don't have like every single size in order, like where it's supposed to be already. So I would have had to search and hope they had the right size. And I would have had to go all the way back and keep my receipt and do all the other stuff. Like, no, the receipt's already lost. Like, I don't, yeah, so. And I realized, oh, I could literally just sew it to fit me, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so here's the top laid out. It really don't look like nothing. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut under like this little portion. I'm gonna probably leave like 5/8 of an inch under this, and then I'm gonna cut along the side seam, leaving 5/8 of an inch also, just so I can hem that edge and hem this edge so it'll be like finished cleanly. I'm also gonna cut down the middle of this right here because I'm probably gonna have to take it in. I'm definitely gonna have to take it in. Also, just to be clear, I'm not like cutting it all in one layer. I'm gonna like cut the 2 layers separately and carefully, okay? Now that I have this back piece cut off, I'm going to set that aside and I'm gonna try this on. I probably low-key should have tried it on before I just started cutting stuff, but it'll be fine. So I'm gonna try it on and see how much I need to take in this back seam. And I'm probably gonna need to move the strap because they're probably gonna be like too close to the center back. When I start taking it in, the straps are gonna be like really close together. So I'm probably gonna have to seam rip them off and then move them a little bit farther out. So I tried it on and I marked where I want it to be taken in with pins. I also cut off the straps like I mentioned earlier so I can move the placement of them. And I marked how short I want the top to be, so I'm gonna cut there and leave 1 inch seam allowance so I can hem it. So now I'm going to sew down that center back seam. And then also, as you saw in the previous clip, I did cut off the straps so I could move them. Okay, so I sewed the center back seam together. And then I zigzagged the edges of the seam and I sewed and I like laid it flat and I sewed across the top and the bottom just so the seam would lay flat and it wouldn't look like janky from the outside. It does still look a bit jank, but I can live with that. Now I'm going to iron down the seam allowance. Here I also zigzagged across like the top, the bottom of this and like the sides. So I'm gonna fold it in and like iron that down, sew that, and then I'm going to fold up the hem. Probably gonna do, I'm gonna do a 1 inch hem, but it's gonna be a rolled hem, so 1/2 inch and then 1/2 inch again and sew that down. Okay, so here's how the top fits. Super, super cute. Like it's the perfect length. I wanted it to be like right at my belly button, like right covering my belly button. So when I reach my arm up, a little bit of belly button was show. Like I had a specific vision for this and it turned out perfectly. And the back is so tea, like I had a little bit of trouble getting this part like even, like one side was wider than the other, so I had to redo it, but it looks really cute. Side view, so tea, so tea. Now these shorts are just too big, too long, like not cute at all, so we're gonna teeify them, if you will. Where's my cat? Say hi, Reese. But yeah, I'm gonna make them low rise, obviously, and then I'm probably not gonna shorten them. I'm probably just gonna cut off from the top and then have it like that and then gather them. I did say I want to add pockets, but I honestly think I'm gonna make these too many to even have pockets in it, so we'll see. So I'm just trying on and marking on the shorts how low rise I want it to be and then pinning up how short I want to make them. So these are how the shorts are looking now that I tried it on and like added the pin for how much I want to lower the waistband and pinned up the hem. But I'm gonna cut like probably 2 inches or 1.5 inches away from like above this marking, so I have enough to fold over and make the waistband. At first I was thinking I'm gonna seam rip the elastic out of here and reuse it for the waistband, but I have this elastic that's 1 inch. I think a wider waistband would be cute, so I'm just gonna use this. I'm also gonna try to add a drawstring. So now I'm gonna seam rip the hem out so I can cut, because I want to cut like right at this fold, because that's how much I want to shorten it. It's going to be folded up twice. I want to just basically redo the same hem but a little bit higher, and then I'm going to cut the extra part of the waist off like I just said. So here I am just cutting off the excess fabric around the waist. And then after that, I'm going to iron down the waistband. So I iron down 5/8 of an inch and then iron down 1 inch so I can create the casing for my waistband. And then I also iron down the hem 5/8 of an inch twice. After that, I tried on the shorts just to see how tight I need the elastic to be around my waist. So I measured how much elastic I'm gonna need. And then I sewed down the hem and then sewed down the waistband channel, leaving an opening so I can insert the elastic later. So now I'm going to start making my drawstring for the waistband of the shorts. So here's the fabric that I cut out from the back of the top earlier, and I'm going to cut out two 1¼ / 1½ inch strips, and then I'm going to sew them together at a right angle and making a diagonal seam just to distribute the seam allowance for when I have to fold the strip and sew it into the drawstring. There won't be so much seam allowance and excess fabric concentrated in one spot. And then after attaching my two strips together, I'm going to iron it in half and then fold the two edges to the middle and then iron the whole thing in half so I have a 1/4 inch drawstring. And then I'm going to sew along that edge to close up the string. So now that I have my drawstring done and my elastic measured out, here's what the shorts are looking like, and then you can see the little gap that I left so I can put the elastic in. So first things first, I'm going to feed the elastic through that gap and then sew the ends of the elastic together and close the waistband. And then I cut 2 holes in the front of the shorts for the drawstring to go through, and then I also hand sewed around the edges of those holes just so it wouldn't fray too much and that the holes wouldn't slowly like start to get bigger and bigger and like make the shorts look crazy. So that's for the drawstring, and I'm going to feed the drawstring through with a safety pin and then try on everything together.
Here she is. Super cute. Like, look at the before. Like, and look at it now. Teensy tiny little waisted shorts. Cute. Top. Cropped. Baddie. Don't hide this John Pile laundry right there. New day, the hair changed, but I'm gonna start on the green tube top that I talked about also in the last video. Here's a sketch. Let's get straight into it. So I already know that this should be like pretty quick and easy because it's basically already in the shape that I want it to be in. Also, just to re-explain, I'm making this like tube top out of a top, or like the bottom half of a top that I already have.
So here's how it looks now, and I just put it on without any alterations. Like I said, it's kind of already in that tube top shape. So all I have to do is measure how much I want to take in each side so it can be tighter. And I flipped it inside out to measure on myself how much I want to take in each side.
Now let's see if I can get this off without all the pins coming out. I might mark it with a pen before I take it out so I can like have markings in case the pins do fall out.
Also, before I take it off, I'm gonna measure how long the elastic around the top needs to be, because I am going to be adding that to make it tighter. So here's what the placement of the pins look like after I end up taking it off. And then I am also started watching Snowfall when I was making this, really good show. But anyways, I tried to cut everything out as even as possible, but somehow it still ended up looking like wonky and completely uneven, but it's okay. I'm going to be using yellow thread for this project because it's the closest color I have, but honestly you can't tell that it isn't green when I actually sew everything together. So I'm just going to sew both of the side seams with a zigzag stitch, and see how the seams are kind of turning out kind of wobbly and like weird. I don't know why, but I'm just going to try it on and see how everything looks. And everything is fitting right. All I have to do now is fold over the top to make the casing for the elastic. And here's how the seams look from the outside. The wobbliness is definitely noticeable, but it's ignorable enough for me. Now I'm just going to sew the casing for the elastic, leaving a hole for me to actually put the elastic through. I'm going to feed the elastic through with a safety pin and then sew the two ends of elastic together, close the channel, And here's how the final thing turned out. My only thing is, does it low-key look like pajamas? Or am I like super, it low-key doesn't look like pajamas. But I think it could be like, okay, it could be pajamas. It could be a cute little linen set, like the girls that get it.